Walk down any pet food aisle, and you are greeted by the same image: a golden retriever bounding through a sunlit meadow, printed on a bright bag. It is a comforting picture, but behind that label, India has zero regulatory standards. There is no mandated nutrient floor and no enforcement mechanism to audit what a manufacturer actually puts inside the bag. Into this vacuum stepped a multi-billion-dollar industrial food complex. They did not have to invent a new strategy to sell extruded kibble. They simply imported an old, highly effective corporate playbook designed to turn agricultural scrap into palatable feed. We have seen this exact logic run its course across other industries. You don't sell the sugar water to the teenager, you sell the cartoon polar bear. You target the buyer holding the wallet with wholesome imagery, rather than focusing on the biological reality of the consumer. For the companies, the spreadsheet works perfectly. The margin scale and the quarterly growth targets are met. The physical cost to the consumer, whether from synthetic infant formula or industrial pet food, only becomes apparent years down the line, long after the initial checks have cleared. The dry kibble sitting in your kitchen is not a product of optimal biological science. It is the result of a century-old marketing strategy, executed flawlessly on a demographic that loves their animals but cannot read the chemical analysis. A carnivore does not naturally crave a dry, extruded pellet of starch. To make an animal eat it every single day, the manufacturer has to bypass the pet's natural biology and engineer a dependency. They achieve this by applying a palatant. It is an industrial, acid hydrolyzed spray applied directly over a cheap carbohydrate matrix. The animal finishes the bowl in 90 seconds, addicted to the external coating, while unknowingly consuming the cheap filler underneath. You might expect to find this engineering in supermarket budget brands, but this corporate logic operates most aggressively in the one room where a pet owner's scrutiny drops entirely, the veterinary clinic. Consider a dog struggling with arthritis. A veterinarian hands the owner a bag of Growlrr's Vet Pro Mobility, a therapeutic prescription diet carrying a premium price tag. Here is the ingredient breakdown from that prescription bag. The #1 ingredient for a carnivore requiring joint support is whole grain rice. At 51% carbohydrate, it drives the progressive weight gain that destroys failing joints. The bag delivers the disease alongside the medicine. You end up paying for this system twice. You pay the premium at the counter for a bag of cheap starch, and years later, you pay the chronic medical bills caused by a lifetime of that exact diet. As long as the product comes in a sealed, shelf-stable bag, the industry holds the leverage. To break the cycle, you have to leave the bag behind entirely. Growlrr's exit strategy is a complete structural decoupling of the meal. We separate the fresh biological energy from the complex micronutrients. The energy layer belongs to you. You source fresh, local muscle meat, chicken, mutton, or fish from the exact same vendors you already trust to feed your own family. This visual equation shows how the rest of the bowl comes together. You bring the raw caloric energy, and Growlrrr provides a cold-pressed, precision nutrient block that supplies the exact milligrams of calcium, taurine, zinc, and trace minerals your pet requires. By splitting the grocery layer from the chemistry layer, the industrial margin trap collapses. You know exactly what your pet is eating because you built the bowl yourself. Feeding fresh food does present a genuine engineering hurdle. Supermarket muscle meat is inherently volatile, a property known in formulation as biological variance. A chicken breast purchased in Chennai during the summer does not have the exact same nutrient profile as one bought in New Delhi in the winter. The commercial pet food industry handles this by relying on loose averages and testing formulas on live animals over a few months. If the animals do not show acute deficiency, the formula passes. That method completely ignores the daily fluctuations of real, fresh food. We address this variance with computation. The Snowleopard Protocol replaces live animal guesswork with a 1 million node Monte Carlo validation. This engine injects massive statistical noise into the nutritional profiles of standard grocery meats. It aggressively maps out every conceivable failure mode, every potential missing mineral or vitamin drop, long before the ingredients ever reach your kitchen. We then evaluate the diet based on how wild predators actually process food. Apex carnivores do not eat a mathematically balanced ration in a single sitting. Their bodies buffer nutrients over time, balancing a deficit on Tuesday with a surplus on Thursday. We model that exact physiological reality. Growlrr mathematically engineers a 95% clinical confidence that the animal receives every essential nutrient over its natural storage cycle. This chart shows the strict contrast between the two choices. On one side, a high-heat extruded starch pellet coated in synthetic spray. On the other, fresh whole muscle meat, completed by transparent, visible mathematics. We named the company after a sound, because that sound was already telling us everything we needed to know. The tagline, "Let them growl," is an invitation to listen. A growl is not inherently a sign of aggression. It is the most honest sound a body can make. It happens when instinct refuses what convention has decided is acceptable. It is a biological vote against the marketing. The massive companies controlling the pet food aisle are not going to police themselves. The bag will not get smaller. The label will not get more honest. And there is no government regulator coming to fix the system for you. Trust the instinct of the animal in front of you. Demand numbers instead of adjectives, and take back control of your pet's bowl before the vet bills own you.